Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a live look over Detroit this morning. Thanks to our friends in Windsor. We're always talking about ways for young people in the city of Detroit to get involved. Now, there's actually a couple of unique opportunities here. The first, how to shape neighborhoods. The second, shaping the future of all of Detroit. We're going to start with the neighborhoods. The City of Detroit Youth Affairs team has a program called Ideas to Impact. That's a micro grant where young people with an idea to better the neighborhood can apply and get up to $500 to turn that idea into a reality. So joining me now is Angelica Williams with the Youth Affairs program. She's the program coordinator, actually, so she's a big deal here. This is I say big deal, I'll say it twice, a good opportunity for young people in Detroit if they have an idea to actually turn it into something, right?
Yeah. So the idea of Ideas to Impact first kind of sparked with our panel back in February. So we do different panels throughout the year where we bring together youth and community leaders around a center topic. And Ideas to Impact at the time was really just about how do young people get involved? So we had representatives talk about grassroots activism. We had them talk about working in the public sector. But when it came time for us to figure out how to help support youth and actually executing and implementing, it was like, well, where do we start?
Right.
So we thought, what's a better way than just giving them some actual funding to work with, right? So Ideas to Impact is about not only having ideas and, enabling that curiosity and creativity, but actually enabling it through execution.
Right, because anybody can have an idea, but actually turning it into something is always the hurdle. And I know that there's actually some criteria to apply for the grant because you don't just want anybody. You want ideas that actually could come to fruition, right?
Yeah, right. So talking about eligibility criteria, we really don't want this to be kind of hurdle of accessibility, right? So the biggest thing is that you have to be between 16 and 25. So that's within our serviceable age range as the Youth Affairs team. And we talked about it, like, should we do 18 or 21 or whatever, but we really wanted to make sure our high school participants felt supported as well. So we did 16 to 25, and then you have to be based in the city of Detroit and do a project that benefits the city of Detroit. So whether you live in Corktown, whether you live over in the Oakman Boulevard community by me, as long as it is something for your community and by your community, then it's eligible.
And speaking of eligibility, though, you're kind of accepting anything, right? So it could be an arts program, it could be a cultural program, it could be a night just to blast music and have a party. Like, you can almost do anything as long as it's benefiting that neighborhood.
Yes, absolutely. So we have a requirement that you have to work with a 501c3 as a nonprofit or fiscal sponsor, or if you don't have one, then we'll support you in being aligned with a city registered block club or neighborhood association. And again, the ideas are limitless, right? So the only thing that we really judge on with a private kind of team of our selection committee, they're all young people as well, as we look at what is the feasibility of it. So
can it actually happen?
Can it actually happen? Can't apply for $500 and then throw a $10,000 benefit concert, right? So we look at feasibility. We look at what areas you're actually impacting. So we really want to encourage ideas happening in the neighborhoods as opposed to downtown, for example, where there's already so much happening. And then what's your passion? Why are you actually interested in doing this? What are your roots to this project, and why does it matter to you?
Okay, I want to switch gears to talk about your other project happening. So the other opportunity is a meeting of the Detroit Youth Assembly focusing on how young people can shape the future of the entire city of Detroit. This one is happening on November 6th at the Northwest Activity Center. Doors are at 6, goes from 6:30 to 8:30. It's hosted by the City of Detroit Youth Affairs team, brings together Detroiters ages 16 to 30, where they can hear from city leaders, department heads, community partners about all the projects. But it's an opportunity for the young ones to listen, but also for you to speak out and let the leaders know what's going on. That's kind of the goal, isn't it?
That's the hope. So we are so blessed to be supported by the Department of Neighborhoods, including our director, Aaron Harris, and our former director, now Chief of Staff, Ray Solomon, but especially the mayor himself, Mayor Duggan. And when we were talking about gathering youth and doing a meeting, one of the things we really looked at was a town hall concept, right? But also the way that state of the city and citywide charter work. So young people don't really show up at community meetings, right? But those are the best opportunities to have your voice and opinions heard. And so we went, let's just do one for you.
A State of the City, but Youth Edition.
Yes, but Youth Edition. So the idea is that we'll be bringing on some wonderful community leaders, including representation from Detroit Future City and Kresge, who just announced a new project. And the goal is that we'll be able to kind of have a candid conversation about what's happening in the city and why it impacts youth, but youth will also be able to ask questions, voice their opinions, and connect with them on a more direct and intimate level.
It seems like this is the perfect way to get Detroit youth involved in a meaningful way, because it's so easy to say we want the young kids involved, but to actually have a place for them to go, to listen, to speak up, because at the end of the day, when you look 5-10 years down the road, it's going to be your generation that's leading this city.
Right, yep. So one of the things that we really talk about is that so many things are geared towards youth being the future, but youth are also the present. And it's really important.
Listen to me now.
Listen to me now, okay? I have things I need to be heard. The thing about talking about the future is that it does not plan for succession very well, right? And that's one of the things we really want to make sure is embedded now and into the future is how are we getting youth involved now so that they're empowered through this generation, through the next generation, and especially as we're moving into the future, there's already the foundation for thought, right?
I mean, it's the perfect way to set you up for success is what
Exactly.
it is. Right. Awesome. Thank you so much. Again, that meeting happening on November 6th. Free to everybody. Just show up, walk in the doors, and have a great conversation with the entire team there.